Hi and welcome again. My name is David and today we are cleaning the SIG P320 M17. I'm going to show you how to clean that gun. Now all the advice I will give you on the M17 applies to the 320 family line, and I'm going to show you how to clean that gun. So we're going to do this in a few steps. The first step is obviously to make sure that the gun is not loaded, so we don't want any loaded magazine. So we have a gun was checked clear. Nothing in the chamber. Very good. Triple check that. We're going to open the action. And the first step is going to take the gun apart. To do so, I'm going to have the safety off. I have my disassembly level right here. So you want to make sure to lock the action back so that you can rotate down that little disassembly level. So take it. It's a little bit stiff on new guns. You can just rotate that disassembly level right here, pull on the action and slowly gently guide it forward while pushing it and separating the parts. So you have your frame, upper receiver, recoil spring. You're gonna grab this from the rear. It's captive, so you just pluck it out, set it aside, and remove the barrel by just lifting it off the gun. So you're gonna have on the gun side 4 parts. You're going to have your barrel, recoil spring, the sliders, and you're going to have the frame. And that's how to take the gun apart. Now that we have taken the gun apart, next step is going to apply the product onto the gun, and that will be the cleaner. The product I'm using and recommending would be Clean Oil. It is a CLP, stand for Clean, Lubricate, and Protect. I'm going to take this product and I'm going to treat it as a cleaner right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this product using an acid brush. This is not a small paintbrush. You don't want to use a small paintbrush. You get this on Amazon. I will put the link to everything I'm using on the description. But this would be an acid brush, and that's what you want to be using. So I follow a certain routine, certain order. First step for me is going to apply the product onto the barrel. So I'm going to take that barrel, put a couple of squeak of the product into it. I'm going to leave this aside a little bit so you have a better view. I'm going to apply the product onto my little acid brush, and I'm going to paint all metallic part, all the parts of the barrel right there. Right? I'm going to apply the product. As you can see, this is your feeding ramp on the face of the chamber. I'm going to put the product onto it. You want that wet look all over. Okay, barrel has been treated. I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to do the same for the slide assembly. As you can see, it's really dirty. Now this little groove that you have right here is your striker channel. So striker will be cocked back. Obviously, this is your striker channel. You don't want to direct spray the product into it. The viscosity of that product will slow down the striker, potentially causing light primer strike and problems. So the best way to avoid making a mistake is don't spray the product directly into it, but rather onto the acid brush. And then use the acid brush to apply the product. This allowing you to apply the product over the striker and the striker channel without putting a large amount of product onto it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to virtually paint all those parts. I'm going to apply the product all over and have again that wet look to it. And here the product has been applied onto all metal part, and I did this for the slide assembly. Very good. And I'm going to actually take my fire control unit out of the gun itself. Makes it a little bit easier to clean. That's up to you whether or not you want to do this. And to take the fire control or FCU out of the gun, you're going to rotate that disassembly switch to this closed position. Press and jiggle that little slide catch out of the gun. And now what you're doing, you're lifting onto those rails, the top of it, guiding the trigger out of the frame and removing the fire control unit right out of the gun. Next thing, I'm going to take my little cleans oil, my spray, and I'm going to spray onto the fire control unit. That cleans oil product. Very good. Just like so. Right? Give it that wet look. And as you can see, it's pretty dirty. This is a gun we're using for school, so it's pretty dirty on that. All right. And now we're going to move on to the next step. All right, and next what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my little acid brush and apply a little bit of the product onto the actual follower on the magazine. If it's super dirty, I don't want to put too much product onto the magazine nor inside of it for reliability and function. I'm just going to apply a little bit of the product right over it, and that's about it for the magazine. As far as the recoil spring assembly, I'm just going to make sure that it's in good condition. There's no debris in there that I need to worry about, and that's about it. We'll not deal with that. That's a different part. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next step. And the next step is going to be to use a nylon bristled brush, and I'm going to use that brush to brush the carbon or the deposit or the dirt right out of the metal parts of that gun without taking any risk to scratch the finish of my gun because I'm using nylon. So this is a nylon gun cleaning brush. So I'm going to do is apply a little bit of the product onto the brush, and I'm going to follow the same order. I'm going to go with the barrel first, and I'm going to brush the outside part of the barrel, that is the feeding ramp right here, very important for reliability, and everything else on the barrel. Separate the carbon that the product could not separate. Excellent. And I'm going to do this for the same thing, for the action, for the slide here. I'm going to do the same thing, following those serration in line with them to remove skin residues or debris. Right? I'm going to have a good result, and you can brush all over the gun itself to lose all the carbon deposit. Obviously, the muzzle part for the end tip of the slide. And as you can see, it's a pretty messy business, and that's fine. I'm going to brush the action on the inside, not forgetting the rails on both sides. So tilting the brush so that the bristle can get into it from one side to the other. It's a really rewarding feel. Very good. And I set this aside, and I'm going to repeat this lightly. So be careful because you have springs and small part in here. So you want to really brush very lightly. And you have the rails connecting the upper and lower together. So I'll brush this. Very good. Excellent. Very good. I'm just helping the product separate the carbon out of the different parts. And you have to admit, the P320 family or M17, or in this case, is super easy to clean and really accessible. When was the last time you guys had such great access to the lower frame fire control unit on your pistol? I love it. Just nice. Look how dirty that is. Excellent. I'm going to brush this part as well. Disassembly level. So I'm going to set that aside. Excellent. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my gun cleaning brush to address the bore of that barrel to clean the rifling out of it. And I'm going to set this up and be right back with it. Okay, so I have my brush set up. So this is copper brush. It's a little cool little cleaning kit called the Pocket Kit from Clean Bore. Very, very nice little pocket kit. So I'm going to take that brush, and what I'm going to do, chamber side, I'm going to brush back and forth the bore, the inside of the barrel, so that to clean the rifling, all those, the bore of it. So few back and forth motion. Excellent. And you don't need to do much more than that. So all the product has been applied onto the gun, on the metal parts. We did brush it, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna wash this out. So on this gun, what I love to use is this product. It's called Gun Scrubber. It is a degreaser spray. Now I don't usually recommend this spray on all firearms because it may be a little bit aggressive on polymer or plastic. But for the SIG, it has worked very well. So I'm going to show you a little bit how that's done. We're going to move to the sink portion of it. And now I'm having you over the sink, and this is where I'm going to be using the gun scrubber product. And I'm going to take this product and note it. I put it on the bottom of it, a piece of kitchen paper, and I'm going to spray a little bit of the product onto it. So that's your degreaser. And it's going to, as you can see, clean up all the debris on it, remove and dry and degrease that barrel. Good. I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to go for this part, right? The slide on the gun. So same idea. Look at this. And that's my degreaser. So, and we're gonna get such a rewarding effect out of this. You can see how, I don't know if you can catch this on camera, you have a lot of little metal debris at the bottom of it from the casing. And see that we're having some carbon left on the breech face. And I brush this with a little brush, play with the angles of it, give it a nice little spray. Very nice. And we're gonna set this aside to dry. Next I'm gonna go for the fire control unit here, FCU. Oh, look at this. I mean, this is a extremely rewarding process. It's virtually everything is coming right out of it. Very good. Very good result. Good. Excellent. And I'm gonna set this piece and note it. How beautiful that is, right? I have a little bit, I inspect it, I see a little bit of carbon left here. So every time you see a little bit of carbon, you can take that little nylon bristle brush, and you keep in mind you have product onto it, and simply brushed it, give it a little bit more of a spray, and voila, set that aside. Excellent. Super. Oh, a little follower here. Set it aside. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And now what we're going to do is we're going to clean this part. As you can see, it's pretty dirty inside, a lot of carbon. So I'm going to spray a little bit of the degreaser onto it. Right. You can see really dirty on the grip as well. So put a little bit of spray on it. Remove that dirt out of it. Right. No big deal. Good. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be using Downy cleaner, hand soap, And what we're going to do is we're going to wash this and clean it up with it. And that's okay. There's not a lot of metal part on the magazine release right here. So let me set it up and I'll show you. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to wet this with warm water. You can see it here. Very good. Apply some down into this. Take my little brush and brush that polymer frame, removing all the grease, debris, and everything we have onto it. So even a good brush. I would not recommend putting this in the dishwasher in case somebody asks. But guys, let me know if you have and what kind of results you got out of it. There's one now. That's what we're doing. So I always love to hear from you. So this gets completely brushed all over. Now we're gonna rinse it off. Coming out with super good results, honestly. Excellent. Guys, look at this. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's just beautiful. Amazing. Super clean. Excellent. And now I'm gonna dry all this, all the parts, and be back with you for the oiling part. Okay, so now I have all the parts there, and what I'm doing is drying all the parts and getting everything ready for oiling. So for that, I'm using a cotton rag. An old t-shirt works very good as well. Make sure it's cotton, full cotton, no synthetic on it, so that it has this absorbent, it's really absorbing all the debris and everything else. Helps you cleaning it. I prefer pure cotton. Good. Just wipe the parts down. All right, so we have this fire control unit. Again, be gentle with that. All right. You don't want to pop a spring out of it by accident. So I'm gonna just, and this again, this way to clean this gun is really deep cleaning, somewhat easy way to clean that gun since you have such access to the fire control unit. And I'm wiping that barrel. Make sure it's super clean. Good. I'm setting everything aside like this. Beautiful. I want to also take the opportunity to pinch dry my little acid brush. Same thing, I'm going to be putting the oiling attachment onto my cleaning rod right here. Put a little bit more product on it. Very good. Not too much. Excellent. Just put a little squeak of product in there. I'm going to take this and I'm going to run it through the barrel. And this would coat it with just the right amount of oil. Take my little acid brush, and what I'm going to do next is spread the cleanse oil onto it. And again, this time I'm going to be using it as an oil, and I'm going to brush it where I know I have friction. So I'm going to do the barrel right here. I'm a little generous with it. They always said never over oil your gun. I have a tendency to be very generous with it. This gun is being used for training. We have a lot of students running on those on that gun. And again, I'm going to do the fire control unit as well. Remember, we completely degreased that part, so definitely wanna reapply some sort of product on it, some oiling. That's what I'm doing right there. And making sure that all the parts are properly lubricated. I'm gonna apply a little bit more product onto the acid brush right here. And again, rails, locking block right here, trigger Control spring, don't forget. Yeah, just a light coating. Yep, fantastic. I'll do the same for here where frictions. You're gonna find that you have wear mark here, so definitely gonna be oiling that. With the acid brush, it allows you to really control how much product you put onto the actual gun, but it also allows you to not put it in places you don't necessarily want it. Put a little bit more of the product. I'm going to do the rails, so I'm inclining, I'm turning a little bit the action. Strip of oil here and there. All right. Very good. Super. For the magazine, I'm just going to use my gloves or my hands if I have a little bit of product onto it. Don't want to do too much. The locking pin right here. Excellent. Set this aside. And that's my frame. I dried it out completely. Remember, you do have that mag release, that's metal, so since you use water on that, even though you dried it very well, make sure that you do take care of it as far as oiling it. So I like to press it a little bit, press the magazine release, it sticks out on the other side a little bit, and allows you to apply the right amount of product in the right amount on the right place. All right, so I'm going to take my fire control unit. I'm going to place this back into the frame. So starting from the rear portion, press back. Now you're going to have that trigger that needs to be aligned with that opening. To do so, I will put my thumb underneath and I will press towards the rear so my trigger can pass through that little opening. Okay, put it down. I take that little pin. So this is a trick of hand. You just play around. Make sure you align it on the other side. And you're going to put it in the closed position and press it all the way until it clicks. Right? You heard it clicking. It's all flush. Now put it in the disassembly position again, just like so. Look at this. Looks like a brand new gun. I mean, guys, seriously, that's beautiful. I love it. I love to clean this gun, actually. It's so easy. Okay. Barrel. Make sure you don't have any obstructions in the barrel. Take a look at it. I'm going to sit the barrel back into the slide. Recoil spring start the front. Push and sit it behind the barrel lug, just like this. Make sure it's well centered. And now we're going to take the upper and lower, align the rails where they start here with the slide itself. Run it all the way to the back. Lock the action open. Close your takedown level. Gun is phenomenally smooth. Right. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to remove my glove. And for the final, I'm going to take that magazine. I'm going to wipe the excess of oil that I may have put on the magazine. Notice the follower looks amazing. Right, you're going to still have a little bit of carbon, but who cares? And now I'm going to take that little rag and I'm going to wipe the gun completely down for that final amazing, beautiful, clean look to it. So be generous with this. Look at this, amazing. I don't know if you remember, but look how the grips looks amazingly clean. I mean, having the possibility to take the frame out of or separate the fire control out of the frame definitely give you an advantage when it comes to that cleaning. Now I know I've heard that people have washed the entire lower of their Glock in the dishwasher. I don't think it would be the best of ideas. Let me know if you have done it and what kind of results you got out of it. I'm always curious, like I say. But yep, definitely. So gun is amazing. I mean, it looks brand new. It's beautiful. So I'm going to do a function test. So I'm going to make sure the gun is not loaded. It's not. I'm going to point in safe direction, safety off, pull the trigger. I get a click. I'm going to do that again. I get a click. I'm going to do this again. This time, since this gun is equipped with a manual safety, I'm going to test it. Safety is on. and I don't get click. So that's very important. So you want to take that opportunity if you have an external safety to test your guns. Well, guys, I hope this would have helped you. It is definitely a way, one of the way to clean the SIG P320 family handguns. This one is a deep cleaning. I use a degreaser for that. I don't always do. If you want a light cleaning, you don't need to. But this brings your gun, if you use it a lot for the range, it brings it back to its like new look, as you can see. So yep, if this helped you, if you have any comments or any personal experience, or if you have tried this technique, if you tried this technique, well, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and guys, I'll see you soon for another one.